welcome to the Unbreakable Hearts channel. Like that?
Good morning here, YouTube people. What is going on with you all today? Happy Saturday to everybody. I just went to Dunkin' Donut. It's like my morning. Every morning I go to Dunkin' Donut here in Midtown. I'm telling you what, it is not cheap here in Midtown, not whatsoever. And they give you 6 hash rounds for $1.59. It's like, you want a taste? But yeah. And then I got me a bacon, egg, and cheese croissant and a medium drink, medium coffee. Yeah, it's not bad, you know. I'd rather not have too much, you know. I get, you know, what I can. Anyways, I wanted to talk to you all today about the devil worshippers. I don't know, me in my life, I don't know about yours. If you believe in God, you don't, whatever, however. But I have attracted a lot of those people. And believe it or not, those people, they go to church. They walk up in the church. They act like they're so godly and everything else, but they're not. They fool the masses. I've talked about this several times before, but there was a time I was going to a Methodist church, Asbury Methodist Church. This was in Florida. And I liked the church. I mean, I was young at the time, but they had a lot of activities for young people there. And, you know, it was a good place to go. I mean, we had like bumper pool tables and you name it, we had it. And, you know, it kept a lot of young people, you know, interested in learning about my father. I went on a Lynx bus trip. I'll never forget that. You know, we got in a bus. We went up to Nashville, Tennessee, and the Smoky Mountains and that. We stayed 2 nights up there, and then we came back down and stopped in Georgia, where I'm at now. And we went to Stone Mountain, and we got to see the laser show. You know, they do a laser on the mountain. It's really cool. It really is. But the mountain is like a big, huge rock. It's the best that I could ever describe it. It's called Stone Mountain for that reason. I mean, they carved 3 guys in the side of it, and I mean, it's nice within its own right, you know. It's pretty high up. I mean, you can see all around North Georgia from the top of Stone Mountain. And yeah, it's an all right thing, and it's not bad for being free. I mean, you don't really have to pay to get in. Now, if you're parking your car, you do have to pay to park your car, and that's about it. But you don't have to pay a big fee to get in and this and that and everything else. No. Anyway, we went there, and then we headed back home, which, like I said, I was in Florida at the time. That's when I grew up. And it was an awesome trip, and I really liked it. But even in that church, there were devil worshippers. Then my family and myself and that, we went to another church. Now, this church was rather large. It was a big church. But it was held in a school auditorium. And somehow or another, the people spread up in 3 groups and formed 3 churches out of this big group of people. I don't know why. I really don't get it, but they did nevertheless. And my family and myself ended up going to what they ended up calling Northland Community Church. And we had a pastor, preacher, whatever you want to call him. His name, what was his name? I just had it in my head and now I've totally lost it. Roger. His name was Roger. And, it was all right. But the senior people of the church got together and decided to let Roger go. And they hired in a guy named Joel Hunter, which is my 3rd child, my second son, but 3rd child. His name is Joel Hunter. Joel Hunter and my last name, Davenport. Anyway, his name is that, and they still have the church over there. They bought a skating rink, which used to be a place I used to hang out at. I mean, we called it Skate City, and we used to go there all the time. I can remember Friday night upon Friday night going there skating. I enjoyed it. It was a nice place to go and hang out as a young kid. I was in high school at the time. Of course, Cimarron Skateway, after Skate City closed, Cimarron Skateway became that local place to go, and we ended up going over there, which, Cimarron Skateway was a lot better because it was newer and things like that. So we went over there. But to get back with my story, Northland also had devil worshippers in there. And these people are really good about disguising themselves, and you don't really know who you're around when you're around. And a lot of Christian people to this day, they don't know the people that they associate with. They truly don't. But I have that ability, Like I said, because the Bible even says, praise him every minute of every hour of every day. You're supposed to praise my Father. And a lot of people don't even praise him once a week. Sometimes not once a month. Sometimes not once a year. So, yet they will tell you that they are a Christian. They believe in God and blah, 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 blah. But they never, ever do anything as far as he's concerned. Like I was talking about before, about the Sunday Christian people. They go up into church on a Sunday, and they don't even know the first thing about my Father. They go there to learn, we all do, but they don't know the first thing about him, and they don't talk to him during the week. They just are Sunday church people. That's all they are. Oh, let's go to church. But really, they go in there to destroy people's lives also. This is what devil worshippers do. They will go up into a church organization and turn it totally upside down. And on top of that, they look to profit in any way, shape, or form that they can. They are very manipulative, and they don't care about anybody, because the devil doesn't care about anybody. And what they don't understand is the devil is going to leave them high and dry also. They're going to be out there in the wilderness with no covering or anything. And you know, I remember that movie with Jim Carrey, Bruce Almighty, where he says that it's like God has a magnifying glass with the sun, and he's burning me with the magnifying glass. I don't see that God does that, but I don't want to push anything to the edge as far as like tempting him to do anything, because you don't know what is going to happen to you. You just don't know. So sometimes we are deceived, you know. I've seen people go to the background and they're, you know, smiling and laughing and clapping their hands and everything else, and then 2 months later they're boo-hoo crying and they're not understanding why they are in that position. Because you wish badly upon somebody. You have done bad to people. You continue to go back to badness towards people. And you should never do that. Ever do that. Not even for a half a second. And if you have, like I said, if you can no longer communicate with that person, maybe they blocked you, blocked your number, whatever, write it down on a piece of paper. Write down how sorry you were for what you did, okay? And then just put it out there. Read it off. Take a lighter, light the paper, burn it up. But definitely say that you're sorry to my father, and that you want nothing but the best for that person that you did something to. And then just let it out there into the ethers. You have to do that. It's the only closure that you will ever have, okay? If you're that much of a coward, then you should do that. You know, a lot of people, they just don't want to speak to a person. Maybe they're afraid of them for whatever reason. Like I was talking about with the, people have said to me, you're like bright, you know, like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. They couldn't look at his face because his nose was shining too strong. You are like that to us. We cannot look towards you because of that, you know. But it's not, well, it is something that I have done, but it's not because I'm any better than anybody else. I'm not, okay? But what I do is I always pray. Always. And I pray within myself, and I pray within my spirit. My spirit talks probably more than I do, okay? And I just do that for hours upon hours. And people are like, well, what are you doing? Yeah, well, I'm praying, so what? Leave me alone, you know? But people ask me that. Why are you doing that? Well, what's up with you? Why are you all of a sudden you're, you know, closing your eyes and talking and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. And I just say, I'm just being me, you know, truly being me. I can remember one time I was in super hot water, okay? I've never done anything criminally wrong. I was in super hot water, okay? And I needed a boat and a paddle to get out of it. And I just closed my eyes and I prayed and I prayed and I prayed and I prayed. The answer came to me and I got out of the water just that quick. When I was in the Philippines, I was pretty much abandoned, okay? call it abandoned, whatever you want to call it. I was abandoned, basically. And I didn't know a whole lot of people outside of the person that I went there for. I mean, I knew a few people in other places, but not right there in Luzon, close to Manila, you know, wherever, howbeit. But I did have a couple of friends that weren't a lot farther away, so I went there. I met them, I talked to them, you know, and I was happy to have done it, actually. I actually felt good about going and meeting with those people, because I never met them before. I just chatted with them on Facebook, and you know, only one of them was like an ex-partner of mine, but you know, and I don't know how serious she was with me, because just like all the other ones, they always have like these two boyfriends in the back or something, you know. It's really funny how they don't think twice about being, you know, in a one-man, one-woman relationship. They just run all around with all these other people, and that. It's really disgusting, but it's true. The one girl, she was actually married, and that is fine. Like I said, it was all plutonic with me anyways. I didn't go there, hey, let's go bang, bang in the corner, baby. No, I didn't do any of that. But she actually cleared it with her husband that I come there, you know, because we were just good friends. And I even, you know, I felt like an uncle to her two boys, you know, and I didn't have no problem with that. So anyway, long story short, that's how it happened. But being abandoned there, I didn't know what I was going to do. I'm in a strange country. These laws there are pretty strict, but when it comes to dealing with people, I mean, people just openly get mad at you and, you know, carrying guns around and stuff, and just pull a gun out and shoot you. I mean, they do that here in the United States just as well, but you know where to go and where not to go, and I didn't know where to go and where not to go in the Philippines. I didn't know. So, you know, I could have been walking into a big problem, but, you know, I always have my father with me. Always have him, you know, and I always have my angels and everything else. So I come prepared, and I was. And I talked to the jeepney driver. I went from one city way over to another city, and it was probably about, I don't know, maybe a 45-minute trip. I got on 3 jeepneys. I got off a jeepney and got on a tricycle, and I went to the girl's house that I talked to you about, with her husband and 2 boys. I went to her house, and you know, I was safe. I stayed there for 4 days, and I left the 5th day, and everything was cool. I mean, I had a good time while I was there. I went to Pampanga, I went to Pangasinan, I went to Baguio, and then I came back to Muntinlupa, and then I went up to Manila, where the U.S. Embassy is. I stayed there for like, I don't know, a week and a half. And I got a ticket and everything else, and I left. And that was it. The police officers over at the embassy were the coolest of cool, and they cooked the best dishes while I was there. I mean, and then before I left, the I don't know if he's a captain or what. He was the one in charge of the whole precinct over there. He had pancit and several other items brought in just for me. It made me feel wonderful. It really did. And he said, you know, we want to give you a going away present. They presented me with it, and the party and the food and everything else. It was very nice of him to do that, and I love him to this day for it. He actually is a great person. And anyway, yeah, I had a really good time. You know, especially after November the 6th, because before that, I don't remember much of any good times. I don't. Well, I went to the mall. Now, I don't know. We bought some food over there. It just wasn't a good time at all. And you know, it partially was my fault and partially wasn't my fault. And you know, I'm just glad that it was over when it was over. I honestly was. I was uncomfortable there. The person that I was there with had shown me pictures of what she called was her mother's house, and it wasn't. You know, I'm not a stupid guy. You know, the floors over at her mama's house is wooden and things like this, and the place she showed me was so much brighter inside and this and that and blah blah blah, and it just wasn't nothing. None of the pictures she ever showed me matched what she told me that they were, and I just was feeling very uncomfortable. She even said, "Oh, my mom is asking why you don't never come over here." Yeah, well, I don't like to be lied to and deceived and this and that. I don't like it. I don't like it, and I'd rather not even deal with it if I don't have to. And that's just me. I'm quite sure there are many people like me as far as that's concerned. But yeah, I didn't appreciate that, and that's how I left it. Anyways, the devil worshippers, they scam people out of money. They're very harsh, by the way, and they don't care. They just don't care. They try to come in, manipulate you, get you to send them money, blah, 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 and then they cut you loose. Even though you maybe have drawn feelings for the person that you're with over that, they really don't have any interest in getting with you. They just wanted to get what you have. Once they get what you have, they cut you loose. Or at least what they think you have. Anyways, I want you to know that I love you. I love you right there. Love yourself. Love my Father God. And by all means, love each other, people. Until the next time, love, peace, and soul.
Life has made me so quiet. I just want to listen. No more talking. No more arguing. No more explaining. Just silence.